What's going on, guys? Joey Franzo here with Flex Training Systems, and for some of you, we're exactly 3 weeks out from Raw Nationals. Man, about to do this thing another year. I feel very confident coming into the year with the squad that we put together, and everybody else. We just got to make sure we take care of things in and outside of the gym. And this video might help you if you are doing this meet, or if you are just a lifter in general. I wanted to talk about recovery quickly and answer the question: Is your recovery finite? And that, can you only recover from X amount? The answer is yes and no, and we're gonna get into that. Is your recovery finite? So what does finite mean? It just means that there's you only have X amount, right? I try to tell people when we train and you're on a consistent schedule, your body will start to adapt to everything that you do in that week, right? So anything you do on top of that is going to cut into your recovery. Now everybody's different. We can, most people, they can handle a little bit of variation, maybe some walking here. And the timing of when you hit those things, for example, if you squat on a Monday and you do some cardio right after, it's probably not going to affect your Wednesday deadlift session if it wasn't too strenuous. But it could. For example, I had a lifter that just started taking a swim class 4 or 5 weeks out from nationals, which is not something you want to do, especially if you're swimming, hundreds of meters per class. The adaptations your body makes to doing that is going to be very different from what it makes to doing powerlifting. I'm not saying that it can't be done. It might even help them in the long term that they're getting their heart rate up and they're gonna just work on their conditioning. But 5 weeks out from a competition, I don't even change accessories really that close to a meet. I start dropping them, but I'm not gonna add new things in or anything like that. But adding in any kind of cardio like that, it's gonna cut into that amount of training your body is used to handling. And part of tapering and peaking involves training the body to handle X amount of workload, right? Let's say you train your body to handle work at a level 10, right? You can handle 10 units of work, right? If we want to keep the body, this is how supercompensation works. Supercompensation is pretty complicated, but this is one little simple way to think about it. If you can handle 10 units of work, right? When we start to only do, units of 8, units of 6, units of, 4, whatever, the body's still recovering at 10. So you're going to overdo it. Your body's going to literally over-recover, and you're going to become strong from that. But it's not going to do that for very long. It will catch on to you doing less work. Some people, it'll be very immediate. Usually with smaller females, the body will figure it out instantly, within a couple days. And then a guy like me, it's going to take 2 weeks, maybe a little bit less, to figure that out. It's all about the recovery timeline, which is a whole nother fucking topic in its own. But anyway, we're used to recovering at, 10, level 10, and we're doing these lower levels of work, and then the body's going to keep recovering at 10, but as the weeks go on, maybe it drops down to a 9, drops down to an 8, and you want to keep doing less. You don't want to let it catch up to you, because once that happens, you're going to start to detrain a little bit. And there's another side to that, but it's just going to get super complicated, and I don't want to get into that right now. So going back to what I just said, we're used to recovering at a 10. If you start adding in, 11 units of work, 12 units of work, then obviously your body can't handle that yet. So what's going to happen? Your lifts are going to suffer. All your numbers are going to maybe take a little bit of a hit, maybe not bench so much. There are some things you can do that can kind of reduce it so you can eat more carbs. You can try to go to sleep a little bit better. You can, space things out correctly. And you can reduce the negative side effects from these outside variables. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. It's just going to happen. And sometimes it's 100% in your control, 100% in your control. I just did a video on sleep and food and all that, all those little things. And, if those things aren't in order, don't even don't even listen to this video. Go get that in order first, and then we can talk about, actual physical work. But if you start adding in, cardio and things, close to a competition, it's going to it could potentially severely inhibit what you're doing. It could throw off the taper. You might not peak as hard as you thought you were going to. I always tell the story about when I did nationals in 2016. I had like 1690 something, and I was like, it was like I matched a total, but I PR'd on different lifts. But it was a very hard week for me. I went from just doing powerlifting and sitting in front of a computer to handling people every single day and then competing and cutting weight and all that stuff. It actually helped me cut weight because I was very active. But, I was like, all right, I did okay. I didn't feel too bad on the day because obviously I'm not lifting when I'm running around coaching people. I'm not lifting weight. I'm just like calling a number. But I am on my feet more, and it is like an emotionally straining thing. But then 5 weeks later, when I didn't have there were no other variables. There was just like a little bit of travel, but it wasn't a big deal. I took a freaking, 45-minute flight to Vegas to do this meet, and I put 50 pounds in my total. Did I put 50 pounds in my total in 5 weeks? Like, did I get that much stronger in 5 weeks? No, I think I had that strength in me. I just didn't have to worry about everything else that was going on, and my recovery, right? My economy of it's like you have like money saved up in the bank and you spend it whenever you train, and I could use all of that money on all that recovery on myself, on just getting ready for this competition. I put 50 pounds on the total in that time, and it was pretty easy, and I ended up missing my third deadlift, and I still crushed it. That just goes to show, two competitions in a very short amount of time and a very big improvement, that when you don't have, outside, when you're not swimming and you're not running and you're not playing basketball and doing all these extra things, your recovery is going to just get a boost. If you can adapt to your powerlifting training while doing those outside things, that's great. You might be able to get along doing that for a while. But I promise you, once you take those things out, you're going to see a boost in your powerlifting training. Like, you're going to see a big boost. I was just telling one of my guys who's an MMA guy, and I think he does like his MMA workouts like 3 times a week, that if you take that out, so we're doing our powerlifting stuff, and his strength training might help his MMA, but it depends on what the priority is. If you take out that extra stuff, you're going to see a boost to your powerlifting work. Like, there's no way around it. Like, the body is going to adapt to all that workload, and then whenever you pull something out, there's going to be a brief. It could be brief. It could be a little bit longer than that, but spike in performance. And if we can manipulate and time those things correctly, you can get a big result on meet day. I just had a guy compete. He's a very private guy. If you work with me, you guys probably know who he is. But a couple years ago, he did a meet, and he did like low 1600s. He went like 5 for 9, and he was a bit like he wouldn't like just do what I say. He would like kind of like contest me. But after he went 5 for 9, he's like, I never want to do that again. His next meet, he put up 1755, 9 for 9. This last weekend, he put up 1850, 9 for 9. And like, he peaked so damn hard. Like, the guy, like, for the meet, he chilled out on his outside stuff so that he could just focus on, peaking for the competition. He fucking, like, I don't even think I've had anyone peak that hard. It was so dramatic. It was like, he went from hitting, like 660s on squat in the gym to like 715, 710, 715. Like, that is an absurd jump. And it was so easy, guys. I cannot, I need the green light from him before I can share any of his stuff. But I cannot express to you, like, he benched 470, he pulled 660, and we hadn't hit anything close to those numbers. He was hitting like 420s in training on bench. It was an insane, absurd peak. So that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. I told him 1900 is there. It's probably there, right now. And from my perspective as a coach, I can only see what's in front of me. I can only see your training and what you're showing me. If you have these, and whatever else you tell me, if you have these other things going on that I don't know about, like maybe you're not sleeping and you're not telling me, or maybe you have a guilty pleasure that you like to engage in that requires you to be very physically active, like playing basketball or something like that, that's fine. I want you to be happy. Powerlifting is about, it should enhance your life. It shouldn't inhibit you from doing things you want to do, but it is a very physically demanding sport in that the recovery, like if you can put all of your recovery towards powerlifting, you're going to get a big boost. And I want you guys to do extra stuff like walking here and there. I'm not saying only be a powerlifter, but I'm saying 2 weeks out from a meet, 3 weeks out from a meet, a month out from a meet, hell, just chill out on the extra stuff and let your lifts come up. Get that one hard peak for the one side of the year. If you're doing Raw Nationals or you're doing the Arnold or whatever meet means a lot to you, adjust things. If powerlifting is something that you care about and you want to do, you want to like excel at, you want to hit a total or you want to have a performance and be like, damn, I'm like really proud of myself. I'm really proud of what I was able to achieve when I put my focus into something. You can excel at it way more than you probably ever thought that you could. I continuously surprise myself, and I've been doing this a while, and I have lingering, lasting injuries that thankfully have not put me out. I've learned how to work around them and just can keep it moving. And if I don't even mention it, you probably wouldn't even know that I'm hurt. But my quality of life has improved. I mean, a lot of those injuries were from playing sports in the past, but like when you optimize your outside variables and then prepare yourself for the gym. You guys saw my IG story the other day. I posted a Gatorade with a V8 and Utopian. I call it the no L's pre-workout, as in you can't go wrong. You got everything you need right there to have a good session. That's what you got to do. Little things here and there. This is just a reminder for you guys before we turn it off, to shut it down, to take care of your variables outside of the gym. Chill out on those extra things. Obviously, if you have things going on and you can't get what you can out of it, do it. I'm sure there's if there's little things here and there that we can tweak. And before you question any kind of like programming or like scheduling or anything like that, you got to make sure those variables are intact or controlled, and you can get the most out of your recovery and keep it consistent for X amount of time. Give it a good amount of time. Then if there are things that aren't going to change, then you can start looking at training and making tweaks here and there. And I always recommend use auto regulation. Don't be afraid to call audibles. Stick to your RPEs. Communicate, blah, 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 all that good stuff if you do have a coach. Anyway, I hope you guys were able to take just one thing away from this video. I believe the flights for nationals are going to be posted later today, which, holy shit, like that's going to get your blood boiling. That's where we see, who's going against who and all that. But it's going to be a great. I might bring my camera to nationals. I'm not sure if they'll allow it, but definitely more and more stuff coming up. I'm going to be breaking down videos after nationals like I did with Russell. Just of various lifters. Probably do his again. And you guys have been fucking asking me nonstop to get Russell on here. So, I mean, we just want to do it when right now we got a lot going on. We want to just focus on what's in front of us. And then, we'll get him and a lot of other guys you have suggested on here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Take care of yourself outside the gym so that you could be strong in the gym. And I'll talk to you in the next one.